despite being a lifelong gamer, I wasn't one of those cool kids who played it. Sure, I heard it was inventive, beautiful, even, but I simply never got around to playing. Which is why when I found out that Okami was coming to the Nintendo Switch, I jumped at the chance to review it. Okami HD takes the original game and adds in the ability to play on the go with the Switch in portable mode. It also throws in touchscreen controls and motion controls with the help of the Switch's Joy-Con controllers. What you get is a joyous game that's a wonderful palate cleanser for the kind of gritty, first-person shooters that generally dominate the sales charts. It's not perfect, there are some control issues, and the touchscreen controls are too unforgiving. However, Okami HD will certainly live up to your lofty expectations if your experience is anything like mine. The one niggling problem I had was how long the opening cutscenes took to get through. Coupling that with the annoying gibberish characters speak, and I was almost turned off from the start. But after some exposition, I was ready to rock. The feeling of exploring Nippon as Amaterasu reminded me a good deal of the reason I loved The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. It had an almost calming feeling to it. I never felt rushed, which made exploring less of a risk and more rewarding. There are a variety of ways in which you can use the celestial brush, including drawing a circle in the sky to bring out the sun and grow nearby plants. You only have a set amount of ink to paint with, though. When you run out, you have to wait for it to automatically refill, leaving you without your godly powers for a brief amount of time. For a game that was originally released 12 years ago for a system that's now collected by retro gamers, Okami plays incredibly well. Whether in portable mode and using the attached Joy-Con controllers or on my TV with the Switch Pro controller, Amaterasu's movements were mostly spot on. I wouldn't say Okami's controls are as sharp as a modern AAA game like, say, God of War, but they are still solid. I did, however, notice that when attacking, I had to make doubly sure I was lined up with an enemy, or constantly prepare to dodge, since my hits didn't interrupt their movements. Using the celestial brush with the controller also felt slow at times, especially when drawing something like a bomb. But it was by far the best way to do so. I tried using the touchscreen controls to physically draw circles or slashes using my finger, but I found that my movements had to be especially accurate compared to using the standard controls. I'd end up trying to draw a circle around a dying tree to revive it 4 or 5 times just to have the game recognize what I was trying to do. What's more, you'll end up holding your Switch with one hand to draw on the screen, which, when playing on a crowded subway, will immediately make you fear that you're going to drop the console. The motion controls, meanwhile, are just annoying to deal with. I can understand using touch controls for party games and the like, but for a title like Okami, doing so takes too much effort. I'd rather spend my time focusing on saving Nippon, not holding out my arm and drawing circles. Okami HD is a fantastic game that easily met and exceeded my expectations. I remember thinking how gorgeous the title looked while watching one of my best friends play it in college, and that feeling never seems to have left. At a time when online games can easily eat up hundreds of hours of your time, and single-player titles work harder and harder to simulate the real world, Okami HD proves to be the kind of wholesome offering that reminds you why you fell in love with video games in the first place. What's hot, the ultimate version of a gaming classic, beautiful game world, inventive controls. What's not, touchscreen and motion controls feel superfluous. More from Dan, email Daniel Howley at Dowley @ follow him on Twitter at Daniel Howley. Follow News Pulse Finance on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.